Hello everyone, it's Scott and welcome back to another episode of Agrarian Skies 2. So, the uh, the hamburgers are still rolling along. I hit a little snag with one of the formulas. It wasn't absorbing the cheese properly, so it all got backed up here at the very end. But that's fine. So, within the quest book, I was looking through a couple of things. So as much as I want to start blood magic, I'm going to continue to focus on the samples subquest within bees and trees. Let's just focus on one of them and see if I can get one of these accomplished. So let's take a look at amnesic wax. So bunk. So in order to make amnesic wax, it's a byproduct of there's no other way to make it other than to make forgotten combs. Forgotten combs are made from oblivion bees, nameless bees, abandoned, and forlorn. So oblivion are one of the kind that I'm getting from the Botania flower. So I have a drone and a queen. However, if I were to throw this in, what we see is that I have no flowers. So now the oblivion, it turns out, requires, well, it's an end type creature. So it's going to require the dragon egg as a prerequisite for flowering, for churning. So that's going to require making a draconic bee. So this is perhaps one of the hardest types of bees. So the dragon egg. So I could go over to the end and just kill it, and that might be easier than making this contraption. But the dragon egg, well, there's a lot of things I can make with the dragon egg now, but yeah, I'm not going to worry about oblivion. But I can make an egg using a essence of false life Thaumcraft recipe, provided I have draconic chunks, which come from draconic dust, which come from draconic bees. And so the draconic queen is made by imperial and abandoned drones. So the abandoned drone was also an N-type bee. So that's going to be made from oblivion and nameless. Nameless is coming from oblivion and ethereal. Ethereal comes from arcane and supernatural. Oh boy. And arcane are from esoteric and mysterious, cultivated, and eldritch. So let's see if I can actually just make an eldritch bee. So let's make some cultivated bees and work my way up. So eldritch is from I have unusual bees from the flower. So let's make a cultivated bee by mixing a common in the meadows and a forest in the meadows. So heading over here, let's grab the bees that I need. So let's grab a meadows princess and a couple meadows drones. Let's grab the forest version. Forest drone, forest princess. Okay, so first thing we do is we want to mix and match. So let's take a meadows princess and a forest drone. So that's going to give me a common queen of pristine stock. So the first thing I can do is, well, as a pristine, I can throw this in the industrial apiary and start breeding extra drones, but that's not going to get me very far with because the queens only ever make one. They only ever make one princess, so I can reverse this and make a forest and meadows drone, forest and meadow, and that's where I can produce a. Oh well, let's grab the queen out. Okay, so that's not actually going to make my my drone. So let's see what I can do. Can I just simply breed this? Grab one of the. Do I have an open one here? Yes. Okay. So a common queen. Oh, that should split into a. Oh, hostile. Oh, wait. Which block type is this? Oh, nuts. It's hell. Okay. Plains. Let's go with this. So, drop the common queen. Not bright enough in that daytime, so let's grab some of the add-ons here. So, boop, 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 and here. Great. So that should start the, well, with the queen, this should start ticking forward. Up, always on. Yep. And I need to provide some drones, maybe? I thought that the queen should start to produce automatically without needing a an additional drone. Strange. Maybe it's just slow ticking. Let's check it back on that later. So, to make a cultivated, I'm going to need some commons and a meadows. So, let's make a. Let's go back to the meadow princess and a forest forest drone. Okay, let that tick. There we go. Common queen. So, oh, interesting. So, it's not letting me put the common queen in here. So I'm wondering if I have to capture it as a princess. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to need some of the old-fashioned apiaries. Alright, so let's take the common queen and throw her in. Oh, and this is going to have a lot of restrictions. Okay. Alright, no matter. I think all I need to do is throw it in here and use everything but the automation upgrade. And I messed that up. Okay, I'm back, and I had to fix a couple things. So I did a little research into how to breed princesses. And as long as you're working with queens, you're only going to get one princess per queen. And then I saw that there is a shortcut to princesses through the Genetic Replicator. So what you need to do with this block is feed in raw protein and liquid DNA. And the liquid DNA we see is coming from our DNA extractor. So I'm just going to have to borrow 10 buckets worth as this is ticking along. So liquid DNA. So what's going to need is a template up here, which we're going to get from the, I believe, not the genetic sampler, but actually let's bring this up. Template. Okay, so what we need is a genetic template, which is made by, here we go. Genetic samples can be added to a template, combine, and then multiple samples can be added at once. So what we need to do is basically replicate a bee by transferring genetic material. Well, here we go. So what we need to do is use the Transposer and basically build ourselves a bee from the component chromosomes of the bee. And what this will do is once we throw the template in and we have the raw material, it can produce extra bees. So I can actually replicate a queen once I've created one. So what I was thinking of doing was just simply making the Eldritch bee and then see if I can clone the Eldritch bee. So in order to get the protein, I had to create another block, which is this protein liquefier. And so using RF power and a meat source, the protein liquefier block itself is not that complicated. It's just one of the standard gendustry, using gears and a casing. And what it does is it transforms meat products, beef and chicken and raw meat ingots, into liquid meat, liquid protein. And so it turns out raw meat ingots, so raw meat ingots are a byproduct of the meat packer. And the meat packer is a device, if I come way back here, why I was up here in the first place, the meat packer takes liquid meat and turns it into meat blocks. Now liquid meat comes from a meat drum that I had lying around in my inventory because of the liquid meat is a byproduct of the slaughterhouse. So way back when I was making pink slime, I was also making meat as the byproduct. So I had been capturing it and didn't know what to do with it until now, and now that there's finally a use for it. So what I'm doing is burning down the meat into meat ingots, and that's going to flow through and give me even more protein. So since this is still brand new stuff for me, I apologize if I'm like just stumbling my way through. Oh, why am I not getting pigment anymore? Because of this thing, the Magnum Torch. So I dropped down the torch, which is this was a quest reward from one of the, I forget which, but basically it blocks all mobs. I wasn't sure. I actually had thrown it in the entrance of the outer lands on the other side of the gate just to kind of give myself some space. But now that I have hell blocks here mixed in, this is keeping all the pigmen and all the other nonsense from the nether from spawning here. So it gives me, I guess I probably shouldn't even have done the nether conversion in the first place, because I could just use the hell simulator, but I didn't realize what I was doing. And now I have to live with the repercussions. So let's head here and see if I can build myself a bee. So the first thing I wanted to do was make a cultivated bee. So for that, I'm going to need a common bee, I'm going to need the common princess, and a meadows drone. So let's head over here to our Mutatron and see if I can find a common princess of pristine stock, and then one of our meadow drones. Go in here, drop in the princess and the drone, and that's going to create a cultivated queen. So a pristine cultivated queen. So all I have to do is drop that into the one of these open industrial apiaries and let that run through. Alright, so that should give me a cultivated princess. So let's grab a cultivated princess, and next I am going to need an unusual bee. So let's see if I have a whole bunch of unusual bees. Okay, unusual princess with a pristine stock. Great. So let's grab one of that. So unusual princess with a cultivated drone should create an Eldritch queen. Great. Now here is where I want to try to clone this bee. So let's grab okay, this is where I'm going to need the templates. So let's whip up a couple of those. I have a feeling I'm going to need a lot of them. So let's figure out what I need here. Okay, so that's pretty simple. So in here, template, and we will create a formula for it. Oh, where did I get these things? Can be applied to a bee. Missing, missing, effect, missing. Valiant. Oh, okay, interesting. What is a valiant? I'm going to have to look that up very shortly. Let's craft, I don't know, 30 of them, and then head over here. So I think this is what I need to do to make this work. So let's throw the Eldritch Queen in here. Throw in a template here. No? No? Okay. Maybe not. Okay. I had to shift click it. Genetic template. Genetic imprinter. Interesting. So this isn't quite working the way I expect. Alright, so I did a little bit of research here, and what's going to happen is if I put a bee in the genetic sampler, it's going to pull one of the 13 bee traits out into a blank gene sample. So I have a 1 in 13 chance of grabbing the bee type out of the sampler, and I don't want to consume my Eldritch Queen directly. So what I decided to do was pump the Eldritch Queen here into the apiary and set it on a loop, so that way it starts to produce Eldritch drones. And once I have a large enough set of drones, I'm going to start sampling them and feed them into the and see if I can get a drone gene or a Eldritch gene of the my 1 in 13 chance. And then what I'll do is I'll imprint that into a template and then apply the template onto a queen to make more queens. And so the template is not consumed when it's imprinting the bees, but in the sampling the queen would be consumed. So yeah, so this is like I said, I'm kind of bumbling my way through it. Pun not intended. And so let's take a look at the quest book and see what I can do while that's going on. So I had finished a couple of other quests. I keep getting things in the Mob Hunter keep coming back. Thaumaturgy has a number of unclaimed quests, so let's take a look at that. So I ended up making the tally box. So this is kind of I watched a tutorial on this, and this is actually a pretty interesting box that returns a redstone signal when the contents of a neighboring container exactly equal a template. And so that's going to be kind of cool for auto crafting, but it's going to take some work for me to figure out how to hook that up to other parts. So Essentia Dynamo was a engine, an RF powered machine that runs off of Essentia. I don't need that anymore. Elevator, yep, just like an up-down elevator from the elevator mod, but since that's not here in Agrarian Skies, they use Thaumcraft for it. And now that I can fly, I really don't need this. It came in way too late in the game for it to make any sense. Focal Manipulator is a upgrader. Now this is kind of an interesting block, though I don't think I'll have much use for it. But if we come over here, so the Focal Manipulator is feeding off of this V relay, and what it looks like is each focus has 5 slots of upgrades, and what I can do is essentially select the upgrade type. And here, I could have it shoot multiple shards for a. So let's just look at Frost. So these are all ice powers. It consumes V from the wand and basically gives a range attack. So I can basically add different attack types. I can increase the damage done or the slowing effect. And so this is kind of cool, but I haven't been using a lot of focus effects here. Increase the potency, so I can select that and it tells me what kind of V I need, and so since I'm hooked up to the V network here, which is pulling off of the node, which is automatically producing centi-V, all I have to do is wait it out, and it will it'll just upgrade and upgrade and upgrade. So it looks like it consumes a little bit of experience, but that's fine. I can just eat the experience essence berries to recharge that. Experience is kind of an unlimited resource at the moment. Right, so then that will finish that. 3, 2, 1, done. And so that will basically unlock additional attacks. So more potency, I can have it use less V, etc., etc. So yeah, so let's take a look at other things. So biome changing, I made one of the Mushroom Island, and it's going to give me one for converting things into tainted lands. I'm not that eager to do that. Taint and botany, so the taint thistle is going to clean up the purple flux. If I put it around and then it turns it into mana, and it uses the mana to do things. But you know, I'm probably not going to use this ever. So down here in extreme storage, I made myself an Essentia reservoir. So it's just another. It's basically it holds 256 instead of 16 essence in a jar, but it's a void sword that I think is actually going to be kind of cool to work with. And so the one other thing I had brewing in the infusing area was the Essentia Dynamo. So it looked like it gave me credit for it, even though I never put one in my inventory yet. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So let me load these back in, load that in, put all these back into the ME system. Okay. So let's take a look. So I want to check in on the McArie's quest. So let's take a look at our deluxe hamburgers. No crafting job available. So that looks like it's finished. Here we go. Deluxe cheeseburgers. I'm just going to pull them all into the inventory and click and manually submit. Great. 100 deluxe cheeseburgers complete. I'm going to collect my reward bag. Great. Now out here on Sky Farm, there is one quest outstanding, the Gourmet Kitchen. So I had gone and built all of the kitchen parts up here on this level. And what these will do, cooking for blockheads, will add a whole bunch of new food recipes, which I don't think I'm ever going to use unless it explicitly requires me to. Pick one, because I can only pick one reward bag. Great. And so milking tanks is going to require glyph of the bovine. So that's going to be a Thaumcraft. We come in under the glyphs. Alright, so if we come under the NEI system and look up the glyph of the bovine, so it's not that complicated a formula, but it does require this oculoanima. So what we do is we take the regular oculoanima, which is made by dropping a spider eye in the crucible. We add the right click onto a cow in order to get it watching for cow, and glyph of the bovine of the cow. Let's grab this and drop it in. So very simple, and that should complete this quest right here for milking cows attached to a thirsty tank. Now, I don't see why I would need to do that, but still haven't figured out what unlocks this. Unlocks one quest elsewhere, and it looks like there's a chocolate bar that's locked here. Chocolate bar icon. So if we come under the chocolate bar, that should be a simple crafting recipe. Still does not unlock. So I'll have to figure out what does that later. Alright, I'm back, and I've pumped a couple stacks of bees through the genetic sampler, and I think I have everything I need to move forward. So let's take a look at that bonus template that was given as part of one of the quest rewards. So turns out that this is a Valiant bee that is missing speed, cave dwelling, effect, lifespan, territory, and flowering. So I've extracted each of those from the Meadows bees, and so I'm going to try combining this. Yes, okay, 8 chromosomes, 9, 10. Okay, let's combine that. Let's take the last 3, so that this will make a bee that is Valiant type, ignores day and night, which is great, which means I won't need that one upgrade in the apiary. So flowers, good. So it doesn't need any kind of crazy flowers. Slow speed, that could be improved. I'm not quite sure how yet, but I'll need to find something. Cave dwelling, I think it means it can go up underground, but I don't really care about that. Fertility 3, I guess that's how many drones it's going to make. And great. So let's take this and pump it into the let's pump it here into the genetic replicator. So what should happen is if I put this in and let it tick all the way through, great. So that's going to create, oh, okay, so it always creates an ignoble bee. I did read that on the wiki. So that's fine. I can mess around with that. But okay, so let's have it. Oh, so okay, so it's going to create a sec one for me. So what I'd like to do is now take this over to the genetic imprinter. And so if I take, all right, so let's grab some labware out of our ME system. So I think I've been putting it in here. Yeah, okay. So let's grab some labware. I'm going to put the template up here in the top. I'm going to take a blank template here. And what should happen, maybe I'm using the wrong, okay, yeah, I'm using the wrong item. So I want the genetic transposer with labware, and the template goes on the left. And so what that should do is consume the blank template and create a 1313 copy. Awesome. Okay. And now that I've done that, let's keep my 1313 copy, and let's go back in the ME system and look up species. So I have modest bees, meadows bees, and eldritch bees. So let's take the one copy and add eldritch to it. So now I have a eldritch template. Great. And if I throw the eldritch template into the bee maker, then the next bee that comes out should be an eldritch bee. And there we go. Eldritch Queen ignoble stock. Alright, so I think this demonstrates how I'm able to generate new bees for the apiary. So all I have to do is put it into the yellow industrial apiaries now, since they're I should be able to manipulate more of their genetic code in the future, but this will at least get me started towards moving up the chain of bees. So if you could, please leave a like or a comment. Sorry it took so long to figure out the whole bee thing, but hopefully we're all on the same page. I don't know. So I will see you next time on Agrarian Skies 2. Bye.